Good evening, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss the second part of the inflectional paradigm entitled the verb paradigm. With you, Assistant Lecturer Hajar Mahmoud Ibrahim, inshallah. The objectives of this lecture are the verb paradigm. We are going to discuss its form and several examples. We are also going to discuss words that fit into the verb and the noun paradigms, homophones. وهذا الموضوع احنا اشرنا اليه بالمحاضرات السابقة بالقاعات. And suppletion. The verb paradigm. As I told you in our previous lecture, مثل ما قلت لكم بالمحاضرة السابقة, the inflectional paradigms have fixed forms. بيها فد form أو formula بيها ثابتة fixed. إذن احنا within each paradigm we should memorize the form. لازم احنا نحفظ بكل paradigm نحفظ الform. So today with the verb paradigm we have 5 forms. The maximum is 5. We have the stem, the verb base with no additions, with no suffixes or affixes, عفوا. The third person singular s, ing or present tense, d past tense, present past tense, or d past participle. These are the 5 forms of the verb paradigm. A verb may have 5 forms. الفعل ممكن يكون عنده 5 أشكال مثل choose. This is the stem. Chooses with the third person singular s. Choosing by adding an ing. Chose by having a past tense form. Chosen by having a past participle form. هنا عندنا irregular past. So here the verb choose has 5 forms. But do all verbs have these 5 forms? هل إنه كل الأفعال عندها هاي ال5 أشكال؟ No. Some other verbs have 4. Which verbs that have 4 forms? أي أفعال عندهم 4 أشكال فقط؟ الأفعال اللي تكون regular يعني بالدي past tense والدي past participle يكون بيها ed. Okay, I know we are in a quarantine, but apparently there are some motorcycles outside, so I'm sorry for that. So an example for such a 4-form verb paradigm is learn. Learn تاخذ ممكن الاس learns, learning, learned and learned the same. So here learned is considered as one form. صح ما تغير عندي الشكل. The form hasn't changed, so it is considered as one form. Learning is another, 2. Learns is another, learn. So we have 4 forms. مثلا, for example, the verb ask. Ask, asks, asking, asked, and asked. So we have also 4 forms. So all the verbs with ed past tense are considered as having a 4-form verb paradigm. We have another form or another type of verbs that have only 3 forms. بس 3 أشكال فقط لا غير اللي هو مثل cut. Cut is the stem. Cuts هنا الفورم تغير. With the third person singular s, the form has changed. Cuts. With the ing verb, also the form has changed. Cutting. However, with the past tense and the past participle, the form is totally the same as the stem. نفس الstem. إذن so the stem and the d past tense and the d past participle, all the 3 are considered as one form. صح? So here we have only 3 form verb paradigm with cut. You can also check other verbs that have irregular past forms with the form as the same as the stem. So here we are going to discuss each form at a time. How can we find it? How can we recognize it? The first form is the stem, or let us call it the base. The stem is the base form with no affixes. So here we can find such form in a sentence. Where we can find it? We can find such form after two in infinitive forms. For example, to go, to play, to read, to write, to discuss. We can also find it after modal auxiliaries, after can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, ought to, and must to. So, for example, to go, can go, will go. So the stem is only found in such cases after to, infinitive, or after modal auxiliaries. The third person singular s, or the present third person singular, is found with singular nouns, like for example Jim, Helen, Jacqueline, McCarthy, غيرهم. Any singular noun, the table, the kitchen, etc. So أيضا ممكن ألقاهم with the pronouns, singular pronouns, he, she, and it, or with substitute pronouns, this and that. طبعا singular, of course, it should be singular. See these examples. Jim, which is a singular noun. Cots. So here we found this form, the present third person singular s, with a singular noun. He cots. He is a singular pronoun. That freshman. Not these freshmen. That freshman cuts. Also, this form is found with a singular noun. Someone cuts his class. Someone, substitute pronoun. So here, I think it is very obvious, and it is as a piece of cake. The present participle ing verb. ing verb, you must know that ing verb form is used with verb be, right? For example, I'm playing, is playing, are playing, was playing, were playing, etc. So these are used, such form is used only with the such, or found only with such auxiliaries. For example, they were writing letters. I was writing letters. She has been writing letters. They will be writing letters. وغيرهم من الأشكال and others. However, such form is also used in what is called subjectless verbal. Subjectless verbal يكون بها الفعل with an ing. However, it has no subject and it is not the main verb of the sentence. وهي مو الفعل الرئيسي بالجملة. شوفوا هاي الجملة. Consider this example. Playing golf used to be his passion. Playing golf used to be his passion. So playing here, it has no subject and it is not the main verb of the sentence. احنا المين verb هو be. His passion used to be playing golf. And again, playing golf is not the main verb, and it is what? It is a subjectless verbal. We have some exceptions within this form, because not all verbs have an ing form. If you remember, maybe we have tackled this at the first stage in grammar. You know that verbs that refer to mental activities such as know, believe, think, know, love and hate, see, all these verbs are not used within the present continuous. Hence, they are not used in the ing form or in the present participle form. I cannot say Jack is owning a cabin. لازم أقول Jack owns a cabin. I cannot say Helen is knowing the truth. I must say Helen knows the truth. لكن شلون أستخدمهم subjectless verbal. For example, owning a cabin in the Northwood, Jack felt popular. Knowing the truth, Helen is devastated, etc. So these verbs that are not used in the ing present participle, they are used in certain cases واللي هي subjectless verbal only. The fourth form is the past tense, the past tense. The verb forms are numerous and they are divided into regular and irregular. Regular, ends in ed, while the irregular at next year there is a change in the form. For example, shrink, shrunk, keep, kept, lead, led, began, begin, began. And the regular, for example, past, past, please, pleased, وغيرهم. These verbs or these form of verbs are found alone in the verb slot or yes, they are alone in the verb slot, because if they are preceded by an auxiliary, for example, is shrunk, is kept, or was kept, here the verb is not a verb, it is an adjective. We have tackled this again when we discussed homophones. The past participle, the past participle, also has numerous forms, and it can also be regular or irregular. Regular, again, ends in ed. Irregular has different forms. Where can we find such a form? This form is found with the auxiliary verb have with all of its three forms: have, has, had. 3 أشكال. مثلا طبعا هو بالpresent perfect والpast perfect. For example, she has selected a stunning gown. They have chosen their uniform. I had done my homework. You see, the verb is what in the past participle. It can also be found with the auxiliary be in the passive form. عكس ال past tense. past tense إذا لقيناها ويا الauxiliary قلنا نعتبرها adjective صارت. لكن in the past participle form, if it is found with auxiliary be or any other auxiliary or auxiliary be طبعا, so it is what past participle. The gown has been selected, the uniform was chosen, the homework is done, the laptop is broken, غيرهم. Okay. Another topic that is to be considered in this lecture is suppletion. لابد سامعين بجملة out of tune, out of place. out of tune مثلا من واحد يعزف ويصير نوتة خطأ أو يطلع من his playing. okay. أو out of a place مثلا شي مو محله مثلا. okay. so ممكن احنا بالجرامر أو بالverb paradigm نلقى هيك شي، نلقى a form that is completely out of its place. مثلا go, the stem, goes ضفنا لها s or es. okay. going ضفنا لها ing. went, what is this? It should be مثلا goat, right? Or it should be gaunt or anything that has a go. Since this form is completely different, it is called what? Suppletive form. And do you know that verb be in English has 8 suppletive forms? Yes. That's it for tonight. Suppletive forms. Let us also consider what we called homophones earlier, words that fit in both paradigms, in the noun paradigm as well in the verb paradigm. The verb cut, for example, is also a noun. cut. جرح ويجرح. cut is a singular, cuts is a plural. cut, cuts, cutting, cut, also a verb. So how can we decide? We can decide through context. والcontext here is a linguistic one. يعني شنو linguistic one؟ يعني راح أعتمد على الجملة. هل إنه هذا for example cut is in the verb slot؟ هل it is treated as a noun or is it treated as a verb? Let us see. For example, Alice cut her finger. هنا cut is in the verb place because it is preceded by a subject and it is followed by a complement. Here it is in the past form. Alice cut her finger. جرحت إصبعها. Alice has a cut on her finger. Here cut is a noun. شلون عرفت؟ Cut is first preceded by a and second it is in the complement slot. It is part of the complement and here it is what an object. So I hope it is very obvious. Within such words, within homophonous words, we need to consider the context. Thank you so much for attending, for listening. I hope you had a great time. Your teacher Hadar Mahmoud Ibrahim.